Right, okay, thank you for joining the Average Golfer once again, Buena Vista Golf Club, and look at that for a view. That's pretty special, isn't it? Anyway, I'm going to play this golf course, carry on playing this golf course that is, but with these Ping G410s in the bag in a minute. That's the irons is what I'm looking at now. I've got a 5 iron, I've got a 7 iron, and I've got a pitching wedge. I'm going to give you my opinion on how they look, how they feel, and ultimately how they perform in the hands of the average golfer. Before we do that, it's back over to the UK and find out what tech is packed into these golf clubs from Ping.
So the G410 irons, and no doubt they're going to be put to the test very shortly, which is what you're really interested in. But let's see a bit of tech spec from Ping, and we're going to start with this Core Eye technology. And I like the fact that they've said that this is the highest face deflection we've ever had in a cavity back design. And basically what that means is that the ball is expected to achieve greater distance and higher maximum height. Amplifies ball speeds, as they say. I like that word, amplifies. We've got very much 7 iron loft at 30 degrees. This is available in power spec model. You see there, top rail undercut, as it's called by Ping, increases face flexing for greater distance and higher maximum height. And what they've done is interesting here is they've put some weighting into the hosel and also into the toe. It's a slightly shorter blade with less offset than that of the G400. So again, trying to improve those aesthetics that might appeal to a broader audience. All sounds fantastic, but we know it's all about reality. That's the hype. What happens out there on the fairways? Let's get back over to Tenerife.
Right, so that's tech spec done from over in the UK, back out in the warmth of Tenerife, and I'm glad to be here. Anyway, so I've got 5 iron and 7 iron in the main that I'll be hitting. We'll get some ball tracer, shot tracer on these and see what they look like in terms of ball flight, see what we're getting yardages out on the course, talk about sound and feel, and ultimately performance, and then we'll do a summary at the very end of all this.
Right, one thing I did forget to say on the earlier clip, and I'm finding it consistently when I'm going out, is that I mentioned about producing the same numbers as what I'd found in terms of dry ball data, and that is still the case. Every iron I'm hitting is consistently on the right number, so there's always there's been a criticism in the past of these sort of game improvement irons as having sort of a lot of dispersion front to back, and I'm certainly not seeing that. I didn't see it in terms of the dry ball data, and I'm certainly not seeing it on the course, and I'm really happy to grab the club on the number that I'm looking for, and providing I hit the shot, execute the shot, it is going to that number. So that's a real big positive for the irons in terms of game improvement iron. Also the profile, not heavily touched on. They've sort of slimmed it down. There's still a bit of mass behind the ball, but I think the mass that will give a lot of people confidence. A little bit of offset, which again, I'm perhaps struggling with a tad in terms of that sat behind the ball at address, but nothing major going on. Overall, like I said, pretty decent set of irons he put together here. I feel the G410s, but as I said, we'll go through the numbers and do the summary at the end. Right, so a little bit of feedback along the way with the irons, and like I've been mainly hitting 5 iron and 7 iron, to be fair. Distance wise, probably very similar to what I was finding in dry ball data. A little bit longer, slightly stronger lofted, as you'd expect. So I'm sort of I'm gauging 160ish for 7 iron, and that's kind of the number that I'm hitting. Feel, I didn't particularly like the sound nor feel in terms of dry ball data in that inside environment, and acoustics are often very different when you get out on the course, and they're better. But the one thing that I'm not overly keen on, and I've not been throughout the range, is the sort of very hard feel out of these irons, very much like I was getting out of the hybrids and also out of the fairway woods. It is a very hard sound and feel. It just feels hard. That is all I can explain it as, and for me it's nowhere near soft enough. I think it's actually perhaps even a backward step from the feel that was of the G400 irons. That's my initial impression, sort of half a dozen shots in, out here on the course and quite a few from dry ball data, but I will carry on hitting and we'll do our summary at the end.
Right, okay, I'm going to have a little bit of a break at the back of this 13th green. It's my favourite position on the course, and we'll talk about these 410 irons. This is it's a game improvement iron. It's always going to carry a little bit of bulk, so that's something again that you're going to have to be comfortable with in gaming. The next big thing out here on the course, like I said, you're looking at the feel and the sound. And I just think that it's not as good as the G400s. That's the issue I have. Everybody seems to have improved the sound and feel of their irons in the game improvement sets, where they put these dampers in and whatever else to soften the whole sound of this type of iron. And again, I don't think they've achieved this with the G410, I'm afraid. That aside as being the negative, the performance, and I'll throw some dry ball data up for you to have a look at. The numbers were as you'd expect for this kind of 30-degree lofted 7 iron, a 160 carry, not overly long. Spin number was very, very good, which is really impressive to see. That's something that, again, has improved with these irons, generating a decent spin number. But performance, like I said, where I'd expect it to be. Out here on the course, 5 iron, 7 iron, really, really good performance. Very consistent, no concerns in terms of dispersion numbers front to back. And I think that's the big key thing. Very, very good. As I've said with all the range, great performers out there on the course, very consistent. More than happy to play these irons. If, again, sound, feel and looks tick the box for you, then certainly worth a look at 2019 if this is the kind of club you're in the marketplace for. Anyway, that's me done with this one. Comments down below, and I might sit here for another half an hour before I move on to T14, I think. How nice is that?